Saint Augustine commentary on the first letter of John chapter 4 following. Mark what I say. God, man, beasts. To wit, above you, God. Beneath you, the beasts. Acknowledge him that is above you, that those that are beneath you may acknowledge you. Daniel chapter 6 verse 22. Thus, because Daniel acknowledged God above him, the lions acknowledged him above them. But if you acknowledge not him that is above you, you despise your superior. You become subject to your inferior. Accordingly, how was the pride of the Egyptians quelled? By the means of frogs and flies. Exodus chapter 8. God might have sent lions, but a great man may be scared by a lion. The prouder they were, the more by the means of things contemptible and feeble was their wicked neck broken. But Daniel lions acknowledged because he was subject to God. What the martyrs who were cast to the wild beasts to fight with them, and were torn by the teeth of savage creatures, were they not under God? Or were those 3 men servants of God, and the Maccabees not servants of God? The fire acknowledged as God's servants the 3 men, whom it burnt not, neither hurt their garments. Daniel chapter 3 verse 50. And did it not acknowledge the Maccabees? 2 Maccabees chapter 7. It acknowledged the Maccabees. It did, my brethren, acknowledge them also. But there was need of a scourge by the Lord's permission. He has said in Scripture, He scourges every son whom he receives. Hebrews chapter 12 verse 6. For think you, my brethren, the iron would have pierced into the vitals of the Lord unless he had permitted it. Or that he would have hung fastened to the tree unless it had been his will? Did not his own creature acknowledge him? Or did he set an ensample of patience to his faithful ones? You see then, God delivered some visibly, some he delivered not visibly, yet all he spiritually delivered, spiritually deserted none. Visibly he seemed to have deserted some he seemed to have rescued. Therefore rescued he some, that you may not think that he had not power to rescue. He has given proof that he has the power, to the end that where he does it not, you may understand a more secret will, not surmise difficulty of doing. But what, brethren? When we shall have come out of all these snares of mortality, when the time of temptation shall have passed away, when the river of this world shall have fleeted by, and we shall have received again that first robe, Luke 15 verse 22, that immortality which by sinning we have lost, when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, that is, this flesh shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 44 to 49. The now perfected sons of God, in whom is no more need to be tempted, neither to be scourged, shall all creatures acknowledge, subjected to us shall all things be, if we here be subjected to God. So then ought the Christian to be that he glory not over other men. For God has given it you to be of the beasts, i.e., to be better than the beasts. This have you by nature. You shall always be better than a beast. If you wish to be better than another man, you will begrudge him when you shall see him to be your equal. You ought to wish all men to be your equals. And if by wisdom you surpass any, you ought to wish that he also may be wise. As long as he is slow, he learns from you. As long as he is untaught, he has need of you. And you are seen to be the teacher, he the learner. Therefore, you seem to be the superior because you are the teacher, he the inferior because the learner. Except you wish him your equal, you wish to have him always a learner. But if you wish to have him always a learner, you will be an envious teacher. If an envious teacher, how will you be a teacher? I pray you do not teach him your enviousness. Here the apostle speaking of the bowels of charity. I would that all were even as I. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 7. In what sense did he wish all to be his equals? In this was he superior to all, that by charity he wished all to be his equals. I say then, man has passed bounds. He would needs be greedy of more than his due, would be above men, he that was made above the beasts, and this is pride. And see what great works pride does. Lay it up in your hearts, how much alike, how much as it were upon a par, are the works it does, and the works of charity. Charity feeds the hungry, and so does pride. Charity that God may be praised, pride that itself may be praised. Charity clothes the naked, so does pride. Charity fasts, so does pride. Charity buries the dead, so does pride. All good works which charity wishes to do and does. Pride, on the other hand, drives at the same, and so to say keeps her horses up to the mark. But charity is between her and it, and leaves not place for ill-driven pride, not ill-driving, but ill-driven. Woe to the man whose charioteer is pride, for he must needs go headlong. But that in the good that is done, it may not be pride that sets us on. Who knows? Who sees it? Where is it? The works we see. Mercy feeds, pride also feeds. Mercy takes in the stranger, pride also takes in the stranger. Mercy intercedes for the poor, pride also intercedes. How is this? In the works we see no difference. I dare to say somewhat, but not I. Paul has said it. Charity dies, that is, a man having charity confesses the name of Christ, suffers martyrdom. Pride also confesses, suffers also martyrdom. The one has charity, the other has not charity. But let him that has not charity hear from the apostle. If I distribute all my goods to the poor, and if I give my body to be burnt, and have not charity, it profits me nothing. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 3. So then, The divine scripture calls us off from the display of the face outwardly to that which is within. From this surface which is vaunted before men, it calls us off to that which is within. Return to your own conscience, question it. Do not consider what blossoms outwardly, but what root there is in the ground. Is lust rooted there? A show there may be of good deeds, truly good works there can't be. Is charity rooted there? Have no fear, nothing evil can come of that. The proud caresses love. The proud caresses, love is severe. The one clothes, the other smites. For the one clothes in order to please men, the other smites in order to correct by discipline. More accepted is the blow of charity than the arms of pride. Come then within, brethren, and in all things whatsoever you do, look unto God, your witness. See if he sees with what mind you do it. If your heart accuse you not that you do it for the sake of display, it is well. Fear you not. But when you do good, fear not lest another see you. Fear you lest you do it to the end that you may be praised. Let the other see it that God may be praised. For if you hide it from the eyes of man, you hide it from the imitation of man, you withdraw from God his praise. Two are there to whom you do the alms, to hunger, one for bread, the other for righteousness. Between these two famishing souls, as it is written, blessed are they that hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Matthew chapter 5, verse 6. Between these two famishing persons, you that do of the good work are set. If charity does the work by occasion of the one, therein it has pity on both. It would succor both, for the one craves what he may eat, the other craves what he may imitate. You feed the one, give yourself as a partner to the other. So have you given alms to both. The one you have caused to thank you for killing his hunger, the other you have made to imitate you by setting him an example.